nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. Oh.
What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore.
Oh, 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 oh,
I was lost in my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show, and the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Gray clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before?
how I'm gonna be an optimist about this. How I'm gonna be an optimist about this. How I'm gonna be an optimist about this. How I'm gonna be an optimist about this.
My friends in New York, I say hello. My friends in LA, they don't know where I've been for the past few years or so. Tempting to go for those.
Sometimes it's airplanes you can't jump out. Sometimes it's bullshit that don't work out. We all got a story, so please tell me what there is to complain about. When you're happy like a fool, let it take you over. When everything is out, you gotta take it in. This has gotta be a good life.
This has gotta be the good life.
This could really be a good life. Good life.
Say yo.
This is thing that I can't
Like
find.
the citizens fight tonight.
This could really be a good night. A good night. A good life. Good life. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if we can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of men. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world would be as one.
Somebody to love, find me. 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 Somebody to love, somebody, 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 somebody. Anybody find me?
Somebody to love.
Hello, and welcome to the Atlantic College Leaver Ceremony of 2021. My name is David Esperança.
My name is Finn Hopman, and we are the Student Council Chairs, and will be emceeing the Leaver Ceremony today. First, it is my honor to introduce Atlantic College Principal Peter T. Howe.
Well, thank you, a cappella, for that incredible performance. And who knew you were going to sing one of my favorite songs of all time, John Lennon's Imagine, which is so perfect for UWC. I always find Leaver ceremony speeches a little bit awkward. Every year I hold out the hope that I'll have something profound to say that you, the students, will remember for the rest of your lives. And then when the inspiration doesn't come, I convince myself that with all the emotion of the day and the days leading up to today, including your sleep deprivation, the odds of you remembering anything I say are pretty slim. And yet, try I must, especially as this year marks the end of my 16-year UWC career. So here goes. My UWC story dates back to 2001, which I realized when writing this, none of you were born probably, but when I was invited to join an IB curriculum team, which was working on a course called World Arts and Cultures. At least that is when I first learned that UWCs existed. The course was being taught at UWC Adriatic as a school-based syllabus, and a member of the team, Henry Thomas, was a teacher there. And while I was inspired by the course, I was even more inspired by the idea of UWC, the best kept secret in education, Henry joked. A sad truth, given that UWC had been around for nearly 40 years at that point, had co-founded the International Baccalaureate Diploma program, which I was teaching in Toronto, and that Pearson College, the Canadian UWC, had existed since 1974. As a Canadian, I'd been brought up with the idea that multiculturalism and international mindedness were good things. And as an IB teacher, I was enamored with the idea of developing a global citizenship curriculum. So the experiment that was UWC seemed the most perfect situation I could imagine. To recruit students of high promise and demonstrate potential from around the world to live and learn together for the final 2 years of high school in service of a mission of peace and a sustainable future. It sounds too good to be true, right? But definitely worth a leap, I thought, if I could get a job at a UWC. It took 4 years of trying before I was finally able to take that leap when I joined the staff of UWC Adriatic as the IB coordinator and head of economics in 2005. And yet, the lived experience did not meet my expectations. How could it? How often do we imagine something to be a certain way and then realize our ideas of what it would be like are unrealistic? I'm sure you've all experienced that sensation. But in this case, it wasn't that I was disappointed. Rather, it was that the experience, in its absolute, all-encompassing totality, exceeded my expectations and those of my family, and by a long way. There was so much to learn from students and colleagues from across the globe, and so much pleasure to be found in the moments spent together. We had been afforded a window on the world through a wonderfully diverse little community on the Adriatic Sea. But this intense lived experience came at a price. It opened my eyes to the world around me, and in particular to its pain and suffering. When something happened anywhere in the world, it was no longer an event that I read about in the news in a distant manner. The abstract had become real, and the reality had a face. They were my students. It is for this reason that tragedies such as the one we're witnessing in Gaza and Israel at the moment can be so challenging on a UWC campus. We are intertwined in each other's lives and learn to care deeply, especially about each other. An added challenge is that we're all fighting against our preconceived notion, biases, and conditioning, in which our autopilot limbic brains reassert whenever we're not fully alert and aware. Fatigue, stress, coping all tug on our energy, and so it's not surprising that sometimes we resort to letting our gut reactions take the lead. It is paramount to remember, then, that when we are dealing with big issues, we need to actively engage our cognitive brains. Take a deep breath, reflect, and tap into the knowledge in the room, much as we tried to do in Bradenstoke on Tuesday evening. But of course, in order to be able to truly hear what others are saying, the very important skill of listening needs to be practiced and developed, or more precisely, the skill of listening for understanding versus listening to respond and score points in a debate, which is the default in many parts of society. I commend everyone who was there Tuesday evening, but particularly Franco, Rua, Danielle, and Yotam for leading such a difficult conversation. Emotions were high, but we didn't allow ourselves to be ruled by them. Rather, we used them to help deepen our understanding of the situation, of ourselves, and of each other, even in the face of competing narratives of the truth. This is a UWC community working at its finest. Part of my strategy in figuring out what to say today was to review the collection of speeches I have made over my UWC years. And while I didn't find anything particularly compelling, I did find a speech that I remember fondly, parts of which I would like to share with you today. It was from October 2014, when we were celebrating the opening of the new campus at UWC Maastricht. The presence of an AC alum from the class of '85, Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands. So after welcoming His Majesty, the various ambassadors, politicians, dignitaries, I took the opportunity to offer a brief lesson on the UWC movement, it being the best kept secret in education, after all. I spoke of how over a half-century earlier, the United World College movement had been founded with the establishment of UWC Atlantic in South Wales, with a mission to make education a force to unite people, nations, and cultures for peace and a sustainable future. And how at the heart of the foundation of UWC Atlantic was a belief in friendship and community, the conviction that the close ties forged during these formative years of a young person's life would last a lifetime and serve as an antibody to the disease of nationalism which had led to 2 world wars in the first half of the 20th century. And that from the outset, the co-curricular program, the legendary rescue services amongst them, was considered as fundamental to the educational process as the subject curricula. And it was through these shared experiences, both inside and outside the classroom, that the bonds of friendship and community would be formed. This model of education, as I trust you all know, was based on the philosophy of the German educationalist Kurt Hahn, who believed that students must have not only the power to think, but also the will to act, and that education should lead to self-discovery, compassion, and purposeful action. And if we, the educators, are to impart Hahn's dictum that you are needed and you are able to achieve more than others think, and you believe yourself, then we must be first to believe in you and to challenge you, while at the same time offering you our unconditional support. History and philosophy messages delivered, I decided that I needed to lighten things up a bit and to have some fun, and my dear Tuti Oshin is here to help me reenact what happened next. I had learned from a close friend of Willem-Alexander that he was a big Pink Floyd fan. And being of a similar generation, so was I. And of course, there's no more famous Pink Floyd album than the wall, and its iconic anthem, Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2, which was released when I was 16, the entry age for many of you to UWC. To many of my generation, it seemed to perfectly capture the ennui of school. And whenever we heard the word education, we would think of this song. So I decided to step out of my comfort zone, something I was always pushing students to do, and that we as adults find very, very difficult, and sing part of the song to the King. And so I did, and so I will again, and please feel free to sing along. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teachers, leave them kids alone. Thanks, Sasha. Now, I wasn't just singing to the King because I thought I had a great singing voice and I wanted to impress him, but rather because I thought I could use the lyrics to underscore how UWC was different, how our model of education challenged Roger Waters' portrayal in the song. We don't need no education. Education is not inherently good. Education can also be used to divide, to breed hatred, to foster intolerance. It can also be rigid and inflexible. In opposition to these approaches, we within UWC see education as a force to empower, to bridge divides, to celebrate diversity underpinned by a set of 9 shared values. These values are at the heart of everything we do. We don't need no thought control. The UWC model of education is grounded in experiential learning, both inside and outside the classroom, and places critical thinking at its heart. We challenge students to question the status quo, to think outside the box, to seek solutions, and to act. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. This line has always struck me as profound. A glib or condescending teacher can be a destructive force, because using the cruel wit of sarcasm can belittle and hurt. And in such a climate, learning cannot take place, especially in a culturally diverse classroom. UWC's foster supportive environments in which every student's efforts and talents are celebrated by peers and teachers alike. And as a result, the willingness to take chances, to fail, and to learn from mistakes is endemic. Teachers, leave them kids alone. This is the key piece to UWC in my view, the nature of the relationship between staff and the students. We don't want our teachers to leave them kids alone. Rather, we want them to be a reassuring presence, to hold space for you, to allow you to question and seek your own truth. And our teachers do this by getting to know you as people, by engaging with you, challenging you, working alongside you, mentoring you, motivating you, inspiring you. As a mission and values-driven movement, we endeavor to develop learning communities in which we work together in a mutually supportive environment to realize our potential both as individuals and as a collective whole, serving a shared mission. The rest of the speech is a blur, to be honest. It was just a huge relief that I got through my performance, as I'm feeling once again. So as my time at UWC comes to a close, I'd like to end with expressions of gratitude and one final thought. Gratitude to you, the students. You inspire me. Time and again, I'm amazed by what you achieve in service of the community, the UWC mission, and its values. And while you have the occasional misstep, sadly too often involving alcohol, you do a pretty incredible job, on the whole, in balancing all the challenges that come your way, including being teenagers and living with your massive, unpredictable, and ever-evolving teenage brains. Your passion, idealism, and energy are always on display. Well, maybe not at First Codes. And I and my family have had the privilege of a front row seat to all for nearly as long as you have been alive. Gratitude to staff, of whom I am in awe. All too often, I take your dedication, passion, and commitment for granted, as my focus inevitably is on the wider student experience. But nothing would be possible without your tireless devotion to the college and its students, and all you do behind the scenes, much of it unseen and unacknowledged. You are their reassuring presence and our greatest asset, and you are always there, placing students and their experience at the heart of everything we do. Gratitude to parents. Thank you for entrusting us with the most precious thing you have, your students, and allowing them to explore their enormous potential in our care. Gratitude to national committees. Thank you to the 150-strong National Committee Network, which dedicates countless volunteer hours to finding students of high promise and potential to attend our college. Gratitude to our donors and supporters. Thank you for your unwavering generosity, which allows us to provide opportunity to those students who would not otherwise have access to a UWC Atlantic education. Gratitude to our alumni who give so much back to our college, including their time and talent. Gratitude to Ula and Lachlan and the tremendous development of the Lighthouse Project as a vehicle for this giving. Gratitude to Jill Longston and the UWC Atlantic Board. Thank you for the privilege of allowing me to lead UWC Atlantic. I will remain eternally grateful for the opportunity. And finally, gratitude to my family, especially my incredible partner in life, Sally, for always being there to support me through good times and bad. My big takeaway from 16 years of UWC, that at its core is the recognition and celebration of our shared humanity, that we must be kind to each other and to ourselves, be prepared to sacrifice for the greater good, and in recognizing our imperfections, strive to grow and be better each and every day. What a year it has been. I know it's an overwhelming time full of so many emotions for you. Nevertheless, I hope you will be able to take a moment at some point in the next day or so to quietly reflect and offer your gratitude for what we have achieved together against so many odds. Congratulations to the leaving class of 2021, my leaving class. I wish you all the very best for your futures. Please stay in touch.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. I think that's a speech none of us will forget. Beautiful performance.
And now it is my honor to introduce Jill Longston, Chair of the Atlantic College Board of Governors. Sadly, due to COVID, she will not be able to join us in person, but did a pre-recorded speech. Please give a round of applause for Jill.
Congratulations to the class of 2021 on this, your Leavers ceremony. My words this afternoon will focus on thanks and appreciation for all those who made the last year not just possible, but as special as it could be. And we could all show more appreciation in every day and every way in our lives. So, to second years, you have shown remarkable courage and resilience over what's been a very challenging and difficult year. This has been no better epitomised than Ayo and Kafura, our wonderfully impressive Student Council co-chairs. Thank you for all you've done. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you both. Your calm and steadfast approach have held us in great stead, and we really are extremely grateful. Finn and David, we look forward to working with you next year. To the Sustainability Council and the Peace Council, thank you for the huge strides that you've made in producing both the first carbon footprint report for the college and the first anti-racism policy and action plan for the college. Both of these have been extremely impressive pieces of work, tackling two of the most important global issues facing the world right now. Appreciation too for the Wellbeing Council, for SLAC, for the Student Conference Board and the Student Disciplinary Board, for all you've done to contribute to student life and ensuring the delivery of the UWC mission to your fellow classmates. We owe a huge debt of gratitude to our wonderful and dedicated staff, who, let's face it, have not just walked the extra mile, but have run a marathon. Whether it be in admissions, juggling all the entry issues, our mobilisation team ensuring COVID-free arrivals and quarantine, those leading the online induction programme, or our faculty teaching with blended learning. The care and compassion our wellbeing teams and house parents have shown, and indeed all our support and campus staff. All of you deserve our special thanks. And let's not forget, during this year we launched the Changemaker curriculum, our Seafront Rejuvenation programme, and expanded the Lighthouse project. To all who've supported these initiatives, our heartfelt thanks. All three went ahead, despite the obvious challenges. Thank you too to all the UWC National Committee volunteers out there around the globe finding our truly remarkable, deliberately diverse student body. And huge appreciation to all our loyal and committed donors, be they big or small, alumni and non-alumni, those of you who've contributed and supported us, provided much needed scholarship provision to finance our deliberately diverse student body, and to our philanthropy team for all their support. We really appreciate what you're doing for us. To alumni and families, especially in the UK, who took in students when they couldn't travel home or help with logistics, to those who participated in many of the online lectures and seminars over the last year, to the inspiring leadership our UWC International Chair, Musimbi Kanguro, has shown over the course of the last year, to our revitalised College Board on a mission to create a more open and engaged relationship. And a special thank you to parents of first and second years for the faith you have had in the college during these challenging times. Finally, in my vote of thanks, I want to pay great tribute to Peter Howe and the leadership team. Peter, thank you for all your courageous and inspiring leadership, your dedication to the UWC movement over more than a decade. And to Sally and you and the family, you will be very sorely and sadly missed, and we wish you well in your new adventures. UWC is needed more now than ever before. We have a powerful and relevant mission statement to make education a force to unite people, nations and cultures for peace and a sustainable future. First years, use this next period to focus on the mission and what you think you can achieve next year. And then enjoy your summer and come back refreshed and ready to focus on UWC Atlantic for your final year. Second years, you are leaving today as students, but you're joining us as alumni. And as I repeatedly say, this is not the end, but it's simply the end of the beginning. Live the mission in all you do, in all your encounters you have with people throughout your lives. And rest assured, you will never forget the friendships you have forged here. Arguably, they will be the most strongest that you will ever have, supporting each other and being there for each other in good times and in bad throughout your journey in life. So don't be sad about leaving. Be happy about joining one of the most improbable and remarkable global networks of friends and positive influences around the globe. Reach out and grab it with both hands, embrace it and dive in. Congratulations on becoming UWC alumni and good luck.
Thank you, Jill.
Next, to give out the first round of certificates, please welcome back Principal Peter T. Howe, Vice Principal Kate Vins, and Head of Tutors Valentina Mendoljevich.
Hello. Hello. Is it okay? First of all, I would like to say thank you to the house parents of the house, Best House, Emma, Maite, and Bernie, who worked together with the tutors John, Sylvie, Nick, Ryan, and Ellen to support the students who I'm going to call on the stage. Aryan Shafat. Ayu Kolavola. Boris Milic. Carlotta Parolin. Charlotte Sprankers. Emma Aguirre. Jacob Jackson. Jacopo Cavagna. Jean Gerrard. Kazembe Chibwe. Malene Inver. Matias Salinas. Rachel Nicholas. Who has her birthday today. Happy birthday, Rachel. Sava Pavlovich. And Spencer Lewis. And now we'll just wait a few moments until Best House students take their seat. Thank you. Welcoming Gwyneth House next, I would like to say thank you to house parents Janie and Jenny, who worked together with Phil, Becky, Lucy, Nidal, and Nick to support the students in Gwyneth House. Bea Matasino. Chatha Ben Abderrahmane. Daniel Weiss. Elze Amilevi Kute. Fabian Brzeski. Jeremy Cote. Ishika Bukhari. Karim Gadar. Mahnur Ahmad. Mariana Di Cristina. Michelle Sabina Strong. Mila Fazi. Natalie Tanrada Ruangturakwaki. Nell Grug Davis. Oscar Fraser Turner. Philip Flatlas Carpello. Sky Ballantyne. And Xinyao Liu. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Bess and Gwyn.
Next, give it up. Next, give it up for Move Hip Hop and Contempt.
Now put your hands up, up and up, up and up, up and up, up and up, 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 up.
Hold tight when you tiptoe. Say something when you tiptoe. No breaks when you push that back. Left, right, do it just like that. Hold tight when you tiptoe.
Wine for me, darling. When you move your spine is alarming. And when you just wine for me, darling.
Baby boy, you stay on my mind. Baby, baby, baby.
Girl, me and you together is a rap that girl. Turn round, drop top girl, you know stop shop girl. Pick the money that you can rock that. Yeah. Let's go.
Qué calor, en la discoteca, qué calor. Llega para la muñeca, por favor. En la discoteca, qué calor. Llega para la muñeca.
La puissance, gros c'est la puissance, c'est la puissance, la puissance, gros c'est la puissance, c'est la puissance, la puissance, gros c'est la puissance, c'est la puissance, la puissance, gros c'est la puissance, c'est la puissance.
When that moon is big and bright, it's a supernatural delight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling morning bright. It's such a fine sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight.
There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls and window sills, tables and chairs warmed by all of the dust. This is a place where I don't feel this is a place where I feel at home.
Move never disappoints. Thank you for the incredible performance.
Please welcome back Peter, Kate, and Valentina.
Thank you. I would like to welcome Kurt Hahnhaus to the stage. And say thank you to house parents Francine and Claudia, who worked together with Catherine, Valentina, Peter, Maite, Almudena, and Michael. Adele Bandashoa. Arman Kashru. Audun Hals-Butenschen. Carminha Goya. Daniel Kankapa. Eilid Taylor. Jean Kosoko Ormerod. Kafura Vaimiri. Lotta Rampf. Mika Schulman. Minami Komiya. Ocean Cheveton. Rufaro Gamariel. Samantha Mastelmar. Sara Taha. Selma Fazi. Yotam Ben Gera. And now we'll just wait a few moments so that the students can take their seats. Cue. Next, we'll have Madiba House. First, I would like to say thank you to Vicky, the house parent of the house. And to Ewan, Emma, Sylvie, Isminor, and Catherine, tutors in the house. Thank you. Alexandra Antoshina. Alvin Mugarura. Chris Sedlock. Jared Carlos Canu Barf. Mia Jackson. Miles Schrerer. Minerva Vuote. Sophia Bultmann. Thank you.
Congratulations, KH and Madiba.
Next, the inaugural Lighthouse Prize will be presented. Please welcome the Lighthouse coordinators Ula Adamska and Lachlan Aitak.
this year has seen Lighthouse scale up its capacity to support students' projects and promote meaningful change-making. We've hosted many alumni and parents who shared their expertise with students in interactive workshops. We have established a standardized process for social enterprise projects. We hosted the first ever hackathon at UWC Atlantic and seen the amount of projects we support on campus grow from 4 to 25. A major part of Lighthouse is to provide promising projects with funding. This year also saw us organize the inaugural Lighthouse Prize, through which student-led projects can apply for funding of up to $10,000 to implement their initiatives.
We were delighted to receive several strong applications, 4 of which have been awarded significant funding after in-depth consultation with an advisory panel. The advisory panel consisted of 3 UWC Atlantic alumni, Lydia Kmunto Bosire, class of 97, Elsie Effa Kaufman, class of 87, and Ari Lati, class of 02, as well as UWC Atlantic's very own principal, Peter Howe. Each offered their own expertise and insights and established how the successful projects excelled in the criteria of feasibility, creativity, and impact. We want to extend our sincere gratitude to each member of the panel for their generosity with their time and energy. So, without any further ado, we would like to present the following Lighthouse Prize recipients with their certificates of success.
Peter Howe, we would like to invite you to come to stage to present the certificates to the projects. We would like to invite on stage Micaela Corvera Vargas of Sucacayu Project, a program and an app supporting indigenous farmers in Bolivia to market their products more effectively, has secured Sucacayu has secured £5,000 in funding. We would like to invite on stage Abreshmi Anika Choudhury of Foundation 21. An NGO improving menstrual hygiene, spreading awareness and empowering the community of menstruators for a better Bangladesh. They have been awarded £10,000 in funding.
We'd like to invite on stage Jinyao Liu and Abu Bakr Sadiq Miechel of ALM, a mobile app providing language education and services tailored for refugees and asylum seekers to help them integrate education into the local societies. They've secured £5,000 in funding. And finally, we'd like to invite on stage Kanonkela Kazembe Chibwe, Vanessa Antoine, Amalia Karetzi, Liu Asmiku Sise, and Lionel Mujuni They're all the leaders of Ukumina Chupamo, a non-profit organization that uses market gardening to help less privileged students in Zambia gain a better education, and they've secured £10,000 in funding.
Congratulations to all the successful projects on their hard work, sincere commitment to change making, and creative ideas.
Thanks so much to everyone who's played a part in the success and growth of Lighthouse this year. Long may it last. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Next, to give the second year speech, please welcome Dasha.
Today, we are UWC graduates. But who are we as UWC graduates? The people from over 150 countries. Those who came here with their passion, and those who came to discover themselves. The people who lived in nature for the first time, who saw the sea for the first time, who studied in English for the first time. Those who will be known as the Corona class with the exams cancelled. Those who got into their dream universities, and those who are destined for something else. The people who cried and screamed and wanted to escape or disappear because this place is intense. The people who took a breath and still kept going and made it until this point. The people who sit in front of me right now. We are the people who speak over 40 different languages and came here to learn a new one, regardless of whether you took ab initio or not. And this is not English that I'm talking about. It is a UWC language. So let's recall our journey. When learning a language, you usually practice writing, speaking, reading, and listening. And we did. We learned how to write about certain issues on posters all over the campus, on media, to the management, and in a bunch of emails, of course. At councils, we practiced both our speaking and listening skills. We enriched our vocabulary by reading in this international human library. During conferences, we were learning how to listen. And this is the foremost skill for understanding. For most of us, this was the reason to come to UWC. But we went far beyond ab initio to perfectly master the UWC language. IB students are indeed academically exceptional. For this, we must speak as much as possible. And we did. At the airport, during classes, at the dining table, at Pico, on the stairs, on M4. Late at night, quietly at dawn. We spoke with our actions, bodies, art, with our silence, loudly, proudly, together, alone. If you didn't speak, you listened. If you didn't listen, you read. If you didn't read, you saw. Whatever it was, you learned a new language. And you don't need to go to a specific country to speak it, because it is universal. Leave behind English, forget about Esperanto. Not everybody understands them, but everybody understands UWC. And this is where our responsibility as UWC graduates comes, to preserve the language. For this, it needs practice. But you don't necessarily have to speak at the UN Assembly. You can just speak up about your concerns, as we did about Black Lives Matter. You can also stay silent, as we did for Amnesty International. You can speak with your actions, as we did for the 24-hour race. Finally, you can help somebody learn this language, explain the meaning of such words as peace and a sustainable future. Your responsibility as UWC graduate is to speak. So I invite all of you to start by saying thank you to the staff, administration, house parents, teachers, and maintenance workers for taking care and always checking upon us. Remember all those sudden conversations. To your friends who proved that friendship doesn't know the language. To your families, which were far away while you matured here. To yourself for enduring whatever UWC threw at you and proudly sitting in front of me right now. So go into this world and sing in the UWC language, write poetry and laws in it, listen to those who speak it, read in it, think in it. Because our responsibility as UWC graduates is to preserve the language. So let us keep UWC alive for as long as possible.
Thank you, Dasha. That was really incredible.
Please welcome back Peter, Kate, and Valentina.
We are going to welcome Powys House to the stage. I would like to say thank you to Sarah, the house parent. And to Mish, Adrian, Ed, Emma, and Rob, the tutors who supported the students. Ed. And PT, Ed. Alejandro Castillo Samudio. Amalia Carese. Carlo Borromeo. Cato Isidore de Ruyter. Daniel Akre Faradombe. Chen Chen Kao. Mohamed Franco Omer. Jenna Chen. Josephine Ward. Kai Alex Chevany Inamdar. Madison Tala Kennedy. Rory Dixon. Ruby Spencer. Tobias Davis. Ton Tum Pompiantung. Pum Pum. Victoria Kapachinskaite. Zunain Hussain. Thank you. We'll just wait a few moments so that the students can return to their seats. We are going to welcome Sunley House to the stage. First, I would like to say thank you to Joe and Tom, house parents of the house. And Graham, Christine, Catherine, Michael, Ula, and Lachlan, who were tutors supporting the students in the house. Alexander Alexandrov. Cheng Shao Patrick Ni. Deshen Choke. Isabella Tulin. Jose Miguel Torres Torres. Josephine Nacho. Jubair Ahmed. Lynn Ganime. Marlene Palma Delgadillo. Michael Halbert Dreimeyer. Pablo Berlanga. Rahme Kashane. Saskia Juliette Gosnell. Valentina Giraldo Lozano. Vanessa Antoine. Thank you.
Congratulations, Powys, and suddenly
Please welcome to the stage Rachel Nicholas.
Thank you. Okay. So, as my co-years will remember, our second year performed a poem at graduation last year, which I have adapted to fit the experiences of our year, and it is called Castle by the Sea. They told me I was going to live in a castle by the sea. An education like no other was its loud decree. From the east to the west, we traveled from all the way around the globe to where it is hot to go when the sun's out. We all got double D's stuck in our throat as we wound down the small country lanes onto campus. Maybe we were mad to come in the first place, but our second years silenced our doubts with bossy words, banging saucepans, and loud shouts. Here come the house games, with competition somehow now central to our mission. They told me I was going to live in a castle by the sea. Before the days of union came, first and second years alike basked the days away in their respective gardens, profiting from the late September sun, waiting for the days of binding tape and plastic trays of lukewarm food to be no more, and the moment to meet to finally arrive. Eventually, we learnt to dance in the moonlight. In our bubble, the peaks we discovered were not mountain tops, but something terrible, such as limits of 100 on a Friday night or a ban on company in your dorm. Balls soon rolled past, where we learnt that the 37% were loud and proud, and that festivity was accompanied by a sense of house unity. Inspired by Kurt Hahn, we used our walking boots and warm jackets to trek through the forest to find one field in particular, a sanctuary partitioned by a wall which granted us freedom, offering a momentary respite from the place that we call home. They told me I was going to live in a castle by the sea. As the sea washed between our toes and the stars twinkled above our heads, we realized just how quickly campus life had been reimagined, with the influx of transfers offering each of us something unique. From tales of sister schools to some of our most meaningful friendships, we found a rare occasion to thank COVID-19 for bringing them onto campus and into our hearts. March 2020 saw turbulent goodbyes, where our second years wished us luck for a third term that was set to be rough and a fourth that would be the last. Deadline after deadline, we grew in maturity, if only slightly, slotting into our role as second years, applying or not to university, and overcoming the almighty fear of failure, not quite with defiance, but perhaps more with apathy towards the end, as we prayed for the days to be over. Fourth term hit, and we were reminiscent, for the place that we called home for 2 years was soon to become a distant memory. To houses other than Powys, perhaps, the word suburb soon became meaningless. Reincarnations of prominent UWC figures shifted our perspective of campus as we know it, with a stretch of tarmac from London to Wales now our main mode of transportation. In the form of glass, cement, and concrete, and new day rooms which, for once, may actually be neat, we were offered a fresh start, a new place, a space to laugh and create, where we found that we didn't even have to wait to form a family. Only open our eyes, and it was there, arms open, anticipating our embrace, bustling with connection and community. However, much too soon, we were confronted with yet another goodbye, which, for a moment, threatened to untie the bond we had created. For many, tears were shed before laughs rippled and stomachs rumbled as the garden's lit coals flared into gently kindled fires where its sparks danced alongside each other. Albeit a little premature, this moment of warmth and celebration granted us a final farewell as we waved goodbye to the man who taught us to never settle for less. As we weathered the end of winter storms, we waited for the winds to blow over so that we could relish in the sunshine and revel in the community we had created. They told me I was going to live in a castle by the sea. A realization that may have come as a shock was that this place wasn't some sort of strange utopia where everything ran on time with the clock, or where teenagers washed their own dishes, or where people didn't feel a need to prejudge and mock, or where inequalities were irrelevant. But what it did do was open the floor to honest conversations, a chance to let go of reservations and ponder important philosophical questions such as how we find the hope or ability to cope in this complex world, or why the urge to steal from our own house fridge didn't really feel overtly misguided. Though for 2 years we awaited its arrival, there would be no real way to prepare for just how hard this farewell would be. for just how much we'd begun to care for the people we'd danced with at Soch, or chatted to once in the day room but remember to this day, for the place we'd fallen in love with and the things we hadn't yet done, for the people who made us laugh or cry, for those that lived on the other side of the world and we were able to align with for just a brief period of time, for those with whom we share memories that just won't make sense to anybody else, so much so that you might give up trying to explain what Atlantic College is. And yes, it wasn't perfect, and yes, you may have some regrets, but don't you dare even think about forgetting us just yet. They told me I was going to live in a castle by the sea. An education like no other was its loud decree. But this was simply ankle deep in a stormy high tide. Not all, but many, expectations were defied. Turns out we didn't actually sleep in the castle, and the sea was sometimes a little too stormy. And yes, COVID-19 determined how we'd spend our time together, but it showed us that even when the whole world fell apart, we would always have each other. Fortunate enough to create a family so at odds with our global reality, where we could not only relish, but thrive, and learn to take hardship in our stride, creating this experience in all its pain and all its glory, which is yours and mine to keep. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel, and happy birthday again.
Next, to give the alumni speech, please welcome Ash, an AC graduate from the class of 2004.
Hi, it's an honor and a privilege to have been invited to participate in your celebrations. Thank you for inviting me. I'm sorry I cannot be there in person to celebrate with you. I'd like to begin by congratulating you on making it through AC. It is a wonderful achievement, and I'm sure more are to follow. When I look back at my time at the college, they were two of the best and most defining years of my life. I have 4 messages for you today. First, your AC family is a family for life. While it may be bittersweet to say farewell to the college and your friends, know that the relationships that you have forged will stand the test of time. They will endure, and you will be there for each other in both the good times and the not so good times. My co-years have been a constant source of comfort and strength to me, as I'm sure you will be to one another. Second, be change makers. As you look to the future and define what you want to do next, know that you have infinite possibility and opportunities to be agents of positive change. The world needs people like you, critical thinkers, problem solvers, and people with a global outreach and mindset. One of AC's many gifts to us is that it fosters mutual respect, understanding, open dialogue, and consensus. I'm confident that this is the bedrock upon which long-term sustainable change is built. However, effecting change is never straightforward. Do not be deterred by disappointment, of which there will be some. Do not let your idealism and sense of purpose dim. Continue to be passionate, impatient, inquisitive to make that difference. The ripple effects of the changes you make, whether large or small, will be meaningful. I encourage you to back yourselves and take risks. You have the character and the courage shaped by your time at Atlantic College to be successful in any and every endeavor of your choosing. Third, have fun. Life is serious enough as it is. Ensure there's an element of joy and humor in every one of your pursuits. It'll make the world a difference. And lastly, we're in this together. Should you ever need any help or support, the Atlantic College alumni community and the wider UWC network will always be there for you. I'm truly excited for you as you take the next step in your new adventure. May you all lead fulfilling lives and enrich the lives of those around you. I wish you every success, happiness, and good health. And with that, I'd like to welcome you, Atlantic College's year of 2021, to the alumni community.
Thank you, Ash.
And for the final round of certificates, come back Peter, Kate, and Valentina.
Thank you. So we are welcoming Thais House to the stage. I would like to say thank you to Marta, the house parent. And Sov, Gabor, Emma, Matt, and Margot, the tutors who supported the students. Abreshmi Anika Chadori. Agnese Tiranti. Alessandro Zirpoli. Andrea Belanche Castillo. Agneta Zavadilova. Artemis Page. Ben Holden. Dasha Swachena. Deshan Booming. Emuna Rachel Dagan Arusi. Julia Rosa Flores Bikovic. Greta Mathiesen. Hang Chi Mak. Jan Tchaikovsky. Karin Furuhata. Melody Jacobian. Tushwintuk Skurelku. Zeli Dieleman. Thank you. We'll take just a few moments so that the students could take their seats. Thank you. We are welcoming Whitaker House to the stage. I would like to say thank you to Sam, the house parent, and Jordan, Sean, Isminur, and Martin, the tutors in the house. And me. Chimma Destiny Okoye. Seal Jekel. Ella O'Driscoll Silcox. Filip Maninski. Frances Torres Manya. Jonathan Koppel. Maddie Morgan. Maria Alejandra Gaubeca Barahona. May Danzinger. Micaela Corvera Vargas. Natasha Takahashi. Baldas. Varissa JD. Thank you. We'll just take a few moments so that the students could sit down. Thank you. There are a number of students who cannot be here. They have traveled home. I'm going to read out their names. And when the screen scrolls, I will stop periodically so that you could celebrate them. Aisha Al-Shamaili, Agnes Karuna Kolachinska, Aishwarya Chataparur Binoy, Alexandra Schenk, Alfie Harris, Anna-Karine van Rappard, Aryan Kilari, Ayako Hirohata, Baher Alabd, Belen Kukne, Bradley Stewart, Cedric Muscat, Chris Chen, Dava Cherejonzom, David Lee, Disha Jarval, Alice North, Emma Masanet Ashem, Georg Krishler Vinyer, Harry Huang, Ignacio Kevin Insuralde, Jasmine Klein, Jiayi Zhang, Judy Shi, Carolina Butkute, Kea Chiara Legishi, Leonardo Coppi, Margot Rierson, Michael Ling, Min Chang Kim, Miranda Alcaraz Salvador, Moteo Mopi, Nashita Rahman, Penny Zhang, Rosemary Vinchenk, Rui Go, Sadvan Majumder, Shuqian Liu, Sicheng Huangfu, Sophia Panger, Sophia Ahmad, Sovmia Nagori, Suhaila Amral Muhammad, Zainab Hassan, Tage Forsgaard Moser. Thomas Bruce Dillon. Tori Shen. Trisiange Beu. Valiete Hoxa. Valeria Brennes. Venezia Stine Myholm. Jakub Ahmed. Yvonne Yu. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tice and Wit. Can we get a huge round of applause for the string ensemble, please? They've been playing for 2 hours straight, and it's incredible. Good job, guys.
Next, we have the long-awaited Atlantic College lip dub.
Summer, 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 summer.
Now my girl's what it's all about.
Ready for some sunshine, for my heart to take a chance. I'm here to stay, not moving no way. Ready for a summer romance.
Everybody ready, going crazy, yeah, we're out. Come on and let me hear you say it now, right now. What time is it? Summertime. It's our vacation. What time is it? Party time. That's right, say it loud. What time is it? Time of our lives. Anticipation. What time is it? Summertime. School's out, scream and shout.
Nobody rules, no summer school. I'm free to shop till I drop.
It's an education vacation.
And the party never has to stop. We've got things to do, we'll see you soon.
And we're really gonna miss you all.
Back to you and you.
And you and you.
Bye-bye until next fall. Bye-bye.
Everybody ready, going crazy, yeah, we're out. Come on and let me hear you sing it now, right now. What time is it? Summertime. It's our vacation. What time is it? Party time. That's right, say it loud. What time is it? Time of our lives. Anticipation. What time is it? Summertime. School's out, scream and shout.
Incredible performance. Chung Shu's gonna have to try harder next year.
Next, please welcome Ion Kafura.
Good afternoon to the Board of Governors, staff, families, and friends watching online, our very dear first years, and finally to the Atlantic College graduating class of 2021.
Look around you and soak all of this in. Let your eyes look into someone else's and let them linger there for a few seconds. And then come back to us. This is it, the end. This is your final reminder that this was, in fact, not a dream. As surreal and as magical as it may seem, you did not make up Atlantic College.
Today is a very special day for so many reasons, and you are, without doubt, swelled with emotions. But if Ayo and I have learned anything as Stuco chairs, is that one must be pragmatic in their approach to life. And so here is something that you may not have yet considered.
You know, at some point after this ceremony, we hope that you realize that you will have to explain to someone what exactly you were doing between September 2019 and May 2021.
Well, what are you going to say?
You could smile smugly and say, I was in the most exciting experiment in education since the Second World War.
At which point, the person you were speaking to would give you a very perplexed look. But it's true. For 2 years, you woke up in a room with 3 young people from 3 other continents. In the mornings, you would attend classes taught by passionate adults who would more often be learning from you just as much as you did from them.
You spent your afternoons pursuing passions that you grew to love, and you served the local community. The evenings were spent attending meetings, formal and informal, with friends and in councils, discussing and debating.
You were able to create and participate in a bustling and fully functioning society on an isolated campus. You will remember that on weekends, you went to an a la carte restaurant, frequented a weekly cinema, got dressed and went to a party every weekend, abided mostly to a formal law, and trusted in the judiciary to save you when you inevitably transgressed.
You trusted in a student government, not quite democratic, but a government nonetheless. And every so often, we would have special events, of which there are too many to name, where we delved deeper into ourselves, exploring our identities and our cultures, singing and dancing.
So it wasn't just a boarding school then? Well, it kind of was.
After all, we did live on a campus with other people our age, and perhaps the magic was in the mundane, in all the time spent waiting on the line for 5-bean chili, smiling at a housemate on a Saturday morning, eating toast between classes, having missed breakfast.
You will remember that none of this felt significant at the moment, but right now, it does.
There are 1,000 ways to answer this question, and we could go on forever, because none of our experiences are alike.
So what is the truth? What have we been doing these past 2 years?
We don't know. And the truth is, no one knows. But we can promise you that it was meaningful.
It was meaningful because the person who walked into this sports hall on the 3rd of September 2019, bright-eyed, expectant, and naive, is not the person sitting before us at this moment. Maybe at some point in your life, you will be able to point to the experiences that defined you, but right now, you just don't know, and that's okay.
And so, when someone asks you what you've been doing for the past 2 years, here's what you could say. You could tell them, perhaps, that you began writing a story.
A story in which, like all good stories, began with you leaving your place of comfort and finding out that the world was infinitely bigger than yourself.
A story set in a paradise, turned prison, turned paradise again, with interesting characters and a plot that thickens with every step.
A story that isn't isolated, but is in fact part of a large anthology of interconnected tales. Here at AC, we decided that the end of this story was a peaceful and sustainable world.
And none of us will be here to hear the end of that story. But our mission is to make sure that it is one worth telling.
Atlantic College, it has been our honor to serve you as student council chairs of the class of 2021.
Thank you. That's going to be hard to top next year. Yeah, it's not for us.
Now, please welcome for the final performance today, Michelle. No?
There is someone who has served the UWC mission and values faithfully for a very, very long time. Not everyone has gotten to know him very well, but in our job and our role as Stuco chairs, we have. Peter Howe is leaving AC this year, and we'd like to present this on the behalf of the school to him to commemorate his efforts and faithfulness to the mission. Peter, please.
Welcome Sally and Beatrix as well.
Yeah.
Ayo, mysterious as always. Okay, and now, please welcome for the final performance today, Michelle Strong and Jonathan Coppell.
One, two, three, four. How could we know that there wouldn't be tomorrow? No birds will sing, but the bells will ring for you. So far to go, but we've already reached the light, our new beginning. Chapters are written out for you. Trying to figure out how this is real, 'cause we're never coming back down. We belong to the stars and the clouds. Goodbyes, good times, LOVE was all for you. And if we didn't say your goodbyes, don't worry, love will power through. 'Cause we're never coming back down. We belong to the stars and the clouds. How do we grow if you're not moving with us constantly? Dark time will move in our favor. They'll never know, but they just keep on asking when we're down here hurting from a broken heart, trying to figure out how this is real. 'Cause we're never coming back down. We belong to the stars in the clouds. Goodbyes, good times, LOVE was all for you. And if you didn't say your goodbyes, don't worry, love will power through. I'm sorry that I never replied. How was I to know this would be our last goodbye? We can't look at the world with tears in our eyes. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Just think of the good times we've left behind. LOVE was all for you. And if you didn't say your goodbyes, don't worry, love will power through. 'Cause we're never coming back down. We belong to the stars in the clouds.
All right. Don't be distracted by the people behind you. Thank you, Michelle. That was really incredible. Before closing the ceremony, we'd like to say thank you to a few people.
Thank you to the estates team who deep cleaned the sports hall last week and fixed the stage.
Thank you to the media team, especially Devi, Robin, Joan, Jolene, and Alvin for creating the lip dub. and for filming the ceremony.
Thanks to the tech reps, Charlie, Enoch, and Lorenza, and the IT team for setting up all the tech. This ceremony would not have been possible without you.
Thank you to Ewan, Pipi, Elise, and Claudia, who organized and planned everything, who printed out the names and coordinated the ceremony. Thank you.
Finally, we would like to recognize the Spring Forward Program Organizing Committee, who made the last 5 weeks an incredible experience for everyone and allowed second years to really enjoy and live the AC experience for one last time. Boris, Carminia, Jaber, Manur, Karim, Ailey, Sarah, Sam, and Jean, please come up here.
Huge round of applause. Okay. We would also like to use this moment to thank firstly Ion Kafora for their outstanding guidance, leadership, and support. We have enormous shoes to fill, and we will probably never be able to take up all the responsibility and respect that you have gained within the school. Without you, this ceremony and so many other parts of everyone's AC experience would not have been as fulfilling and incredible as they were. Thank you so much. There are also, the Board of Governors would like to give you some presents, so if you could please come up. Ion Kafora.
And now, to our second years, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude for helping us navigate through this incredibly difficult and unprecedented year, and for showing us the true beauty of this community. We would not be the same without you. We had difficult times throughout the year, especially in the beginning when we were locked up in our houses during quarantine, but the friendships and bonds that we have developed have helped us and changed us for the rest of our lives. We believe we speak for our entire year group when saying that we wish the best of luck and we will miss you all.
That being said, could all the second years please rise? We present to you the Atlantic College class of 2021. You're now all invited to drinks on top lawn. Top lawn? Top lawn? Please, if the second years could leave through that way, that would be very kind.
Cutting gives.